What if everything you learned in school about the Maya civilization was wrong? What if the ancient cities, the towering pyramids, the intricate mathematics and world-class astronomy, what if all of that didn't vanish mysteriously centuries ago, like so many television specials claim? The truth is far more fascinating than any myth of disappearance. The Maya didn't go anywhere. They didn't die out. They didn't fade from existence. They survived centuries of war, disease, forced labor, slavery, religious persecution, and attempts to destroy their identity. And yet today, they remain one of the largest indigenous populations in the Americas. More than 6 million Maya people continue to speak their ancestral languages, practice their traditional ceremonies, and uphold a cultural legacy older than the Roman Empire. So the real mystery isn't what happened to the Maya. The mystery is why the world keeps pretending they're gone. Tonight, we're shining light on a story that has been hidden in plain sight. A story of endurance, intelligence, and cultural strength that has never stopped unfolding. Welcome to the truth. The Maya were never lost. They are still here, and they have something to tell us. So, where did this idea begin? This claim that the Maya world suddenly fell apart. Early archaeologists, arriving in the late 1800s and early 1900s, saw towering pyramids and magnificent plazas left partially reclaimed by vines and roots. To them, these structures looked like the tombs of a civilization that had vanished overnight. They assumed collapse must have meant extinction. They placed timelines where there were transitions, interpreted silence where there was transformation, and overlooked the living Maya communities surrounding them because they didn't fit the dramatic narrative of a lost world. What they failed to see was that Maya civilization is not defined solely by the existence of kings and giant temples. It is defined by its people, their ideas, and their cultural continuity. When drought struck, when political centers fell, when wars strained old alliances, the Maya didn't disappear. They reorganized. They left certain lowland capitals and built new power centers in the north, like Chichen Itza. Then, in the highlands, like Kumarkaj. They continued farming, trading, storytelling, and observing the stars. The Maya calendar was still kept. The Maya languages were still spoken. The Maya worldview was still alive. A civilization that shifts does not collapse. It adapts. The collapse myth thrives because it is dramatic and easy to sensationalize. But the truth is far more remarkable. The Maya are a society that has endured multiple upheavals, yet continues to thrive. Not a mystery, a miracle of resilience. To understand the true power of Maya endurance, we must recognize what held their civilization together across thousands of years: knowledge. The Maya didn't just build great monuments, they built a way of understanding the universe that allowed them to thrive in environments many would consider uninhabitable. Their writing captured everything from dynastic histories to scientific theory, from cosmic creation stories to personal names of rulers and nobles. Their astronomers charted the precise cycles of Venus, predicting its movements over centuries with astonishing accuracy. Farmers engineered wetlands and carved terraced fields to sustain enormous populations even during harsh climate cycles. Their mathematics, including the independent invention of zero, unlocked architectural and scientific achievements far ahead of much of the world. And unlike many civilizations where knowledge belonged only to elites, Maya scientific and spiritual understanding filtered into the everyday life of communities. Midwives used lunar cycles to guide birth rituals. Farmers followed star patterns to plant maize at optimal times. Timekeepers used the Tzolk'in calendar to align ceremonies with cosmic energies. Even when monumental inscriptions slowed and cities changed hands, none of this knowledge disappeared. It was stored in the living practices of the people, in their languages, in their rituals, in their art. The Maya civilization wasn't a moment in time. It was, and is, a continuous flow. But if Maya life continued, why did the world so confidently claim it ended? The answer: colonization tried to make it so. When Spanish forces arrived in the 1500s, they were shocked by the sophistication of Maya society, its literacy, its astronomy, its religious structures, its political organization. Unable to accept that a non-European people could produce such brilliance, they launched a campaign to dismantle everything that made Maya civilization sovereign. They executed or enslaved nobles, censored spiritual leaders, outlawed religious practices, and destroyed nearly all written records. Ancient libraries reduced to smoke in a matter of days by priests like Diego de Landa. The Spanish systematically attacked the intellectual backbone of Maya identity, hoping that without books, language, and leadership, the culture would wither. But the Maya fought back in ways that were both visible and invisible. They led uprisings that spanned centuries, from the endless rebellions during colonization to the caste war in Yucatan, where Maya forces reclaimed territory and governed themselves independently for decades. They preserved traditions in secret, disguised gods as saints, hid knowledge in oral stories, and passed identity quietly through family lines, even when speaking their language could lead to execution. The colonizers succeeded only in rewriting the history books, not in rewriting the hearts of the people who lived that history. The disappearance narrative was manufactured to justify domination. The survival narrative is the truth the world is only now beginning to reclaim. Today, the Maya are not a memory. They are not confined to museums or archaeology sites. They are a thriving population of more than 6 million people across Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. Walk into a town in the Guatemalan highlands and you will hear Quiche, Kachikol, Mam, and Tzutujil spoken in every home. Visit the Yucatan Peninsula and you will find Maya communities preserving oral histories, rain-calling ceremonies, and traditional healing practices that have outlasted empires. Their textiles are not just art. They are living archives, coded with symbols representing lineage, protection, astronomical cycles, and landscape spirits. Their food, especially maize, is sacred, sustaining both body and soul. Their artists are using modern media to share indigenous identity on global stages. Maya astronomers and linguists are teaching at universities, decoding ancient inscriptions once forbidden, reclaiming a writing system that colonizers tried to erase. Maya activists defend their land from illegal mining and deforestation. Social movements demand equal rights and recognition as the original stewards of their territories. These are not remnants. These are not descendants of a vanished people. These are the Maya, alive, evolving, resisting, thriving. So what changes when we finally reject the disappearance myth? We begin to understand that history did not end when Europeans arrived. It simply continued in a different form. We acknowledge that the Maya are not artifacts, but agents of their own destiny. We correct the error that defines them only by their ancient monuments, rather than their living communities. And we confront the ongoing injustices faced by indigenous peoples whose cultures were pushed aside so colonial powers could rewrite the story. Rewriting the narrative means shifting attention from what was lost to what endured. It means platforming Maya scholars, leaders, and storytellers as the rightful narrators of their own culture. It means demanding that museums, archaeologists, and governments include Maya voices in everything concerning Maya history and heritage. It means recognizing that a civilization does not have to be ancient to be great. And most importantly, it means breaking the silence that allowed the world to pretend a culture was gone when it was standing right in front of us all along. To tell the truth is not only to honor the past, it is to protect the future. The Maya story is a powerful reminder that civilizations don't simply vanish. They evolve, endure, and grow through every challenge they face. The pyramids may be old, the inscriptions weathered, the kingdoms long transformed, but the people who built that greatness are still here. Their resilience is a message to the world. Identity is not a monument that can fall. It is a flame that can pass from one generation to the next, even in the darkest times. By replacing the myth of disappearance with the truth of survival, we honor the Maya not as a lost civilization, but as a living one. Thank you for joining me on this journey to uncover the true story, a story hidden not in ruins, but in the lives of millions who carry their heritage proudly. What did you think about today's video? Comment your thoughts and suggestions for my next video below. And if you want to help share the real history of the Americas, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode so we can continue amplifying the voices that were never truly gone.